at its best. Which driver will combine his skill and the luck necessary to win this race? Will it be Jimmy Johnson, Tony Stewart, Carl Edwards, or Kyle Busch, just to name a few? You'll see them all underneath the lights.
Let's join Dick Berggren.
Well, Wisconsin native Matt Kenseth is the Busch Series most recent winner. Took home the trophy last week in Darlington, South Carolina. I'm in his pit right now. He will start in 11th position tonight at Richmond. He has finished second in Busch competition twice here, third twice, fourth twice, but never won. As he climbed in his car, I asked him what his strategy was going to be. He looked at me and said, run as hard as he could every single lap. Mike?
The Funai 250, 250 laps, 187 miles is the race distance. And hard to make this race on one stop.
It really is, I think, simply because you're going to want tires more than just once during this race. But there's no question, as we get down to those last 50 or 75 laps, these crew chiefs drivers will be evaluating track position versus fresh tires.
The history of this track goes back to the dawn of stock car racing. The stat you showed when NASCAR named this the Busch Series, Tommy Houston was the first winner here. Last year, both races were won by first-time winners. And they were Kyle Busch and Robbie Gordon, first-time winner in the Busch Series. And what a dramatic night that was, ending up with Robbie Gordon in victory lane, coming back, winning it.
Now we're being told that Martin Truex Jr. he had went back up there to his fourth place starting position, but now, as you mentioned, Mike, that was considered a pit stop. So instead of starting in fourth, he will be back in the 43rd position. So Matt, they're going to have to put their work gloves on. A lot of work to do.
Larry and Mac, the biggest reason why he did that, he was trying to get an accurate pit road speed reading because they follow the pace car who travels at pit road speed. He was trying to get the right RPMs on the tack. He is dropping back to his now assigned spot.
I think it's not all bad. I mean, you can do some different pit strategy now. Might be able to pit early, find your way up to the front late in the show.
Might take a little strategy to get it back up there to the front.
Might have to strategize a tad.
Taking a look through our onboard cameras. Tim Fedowa there. It's David Stremme in the Navy number 14. And there is the 21 of Kevin Harvick.
DW, it's Friday night. Let's get this party started. Pull those belts tight one more time.
Yeah, baby. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. Well, we've seen trouble early in almost every race recently. Let's see if we can get through a few laps here without a caution.
We're a half a lap away from that. Looks like Casey Kane will lead lap number 1.
He started 8 Busch races this year. He's now led 4 of them.
Johnny Sauter in the 1 car, a little bottoming out there through 3 and 4. Carl Edwards in the 60. You saw him up in that second groove. There's just no grip up there. He's going to lose several positions. Our points leader.
3 wide. Wow. They blew the track off just before the start of the race. It's still very dirty. Pick up what debris there is on these tires. Takes a lap or 2 to get it off and get going again.
And our point leader Edwards is going back.
But I think you're right, Darrell. I think as we're riding with Shane Mills in the 32 car, he got stuff on those tires and couldn't get them cleaned off.
Next fellow to do that was Tim Fedowa. He backed up out of turn 2 and almost got inhaled by the car behind him.
Yeah, everybody's being pretty kind to each other right now. They're giving themselves a little bit of room, knowing they're on real low air. You can drop the air down in the left side tires there, somewhere around 15 pounds. Takes us several laps for that to get up to racing temperature.
Paul Wolf battling Shane Meal side by side. Meal got a little up high in turn 2 last time, dropped a couple of spots.
It's a battle for 14th position right here between these two guys.
Good to see Paul Wolf back in that 6 car. He's out of the Busch North Series. They took him out of the car on some of the super speedways, trying to give him some experience in these big heavy cars on the short tracks. Let's see how he does tonight.
Yeah, you know, sometimes these teams have to do that, Mike, to keep the team pumped up. You know, you can't keep having trouble week in and week out. We've seen that with a 5 car and Jimmy Johnson.
Around turn 2.
There we go.
Or rather, the 99 of Michael Waltrip was the outside car as they tried to go 3 wide in turn 2.
Well, Michael likes that outside. We talked about that, you know, this morning he and I did. I said, dude, I don't think it's there, and I think he'll agree with me now.
I believe his night's going to be short-lived. He just barely made this race. He was the last go-or-go-home car to get in the show.
Shorten that bad boy up. There he goes down on the outside. The 56 car, the 14 car, they just kind of all go up the hill. He's the last guy on the outside, hard into that wall.
Never really saw any contact by another car. He was just up there where you can't be right now.
Michael Waltrip goes around, puts the corn dog into the fence. Ouch. Casey Kane driving a Ray Evernham fielded Busch car. Out in front of the number 2 point man in this series, Clint Boyer, who started second.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 car on the outside of Kyle Busch in the 57 car. That's a battle for 9th. Kenseth had a good qualifying run 11th. That's a sign he's normally going to race pretty good. Of course, won the Darlington race last Friday night.
At 4th place, Paul Menard is under pressure from the 1 of Johnny Sauter. Sauter had a look last time by, not wanting the leaders to get away. Back here, Kenny Wallace and the 18 of J.J. Yaley side by side.
Tell you what, Kenny Wallace has been picking up and laying them down. He started back in 19th. He's already knocking on the door of the top 10 back in 12th position. Had that good run as well last week. Finished second at Darlington. A little bit of confidence going on.
And it looks like, Larry, you do not want to get out of the groove in 1 and 2. There's no grip up high. Now 3 and 4, already they seem to have widened that out a little bit, and you can go wide here.
Here's what happens when you get up high.
Now watch the 38. I saw him get up out of the groove. Actually, I thought it was Tony Stewart, but the 38 on the outside, and it just takes off.
About the same thing that happened to Michael Waltrip. The 38 has Tyler Walker in it this week.
Got a little contact there from the 64 car.
And he's battling against Reed Sorensen, who comes in here 3rd in points.
Let's update our current Busch Series champion. Martin Truex Jr. had to go to the rear of the field. He's worked his way up to 30th. And I've been watching him. Cars pretty good. You see, goes really good through the middle of the corner. But the biggest thing, he needs to pick up some more positions, I think, before possibly we end up with a caution.
Matt?
Joey Meyer, his spotter, told him that you saw the video when the 38 went high. The 8 of Truex Jr. went down below. Joey Meyer told him, we've seen a lot of guys slipping when they get out of that bottom line. Try to stay on the bottom until we can work in a line. Martin says the car a little free through the center.
And that's how you get in trouble. A little free through the center. Somebody gives you a little nudge, and they put you up there in that loose stuff, and you can't hang on to it.
We need to mention Justin Labonte's troubles continues in the Busch Series this year. The 44 car, he's on pit road with the hood up right now, 8 laps down.
And J.J. Yaley finally persisted and got past Kenny Wallace, which changes 12th place. Now, Michael Waltrip, you see the 99 back on track, a little shorter than when it started tonight.
Yeah, I don't think Michael will be out there too long. The whole back of that car just caved into the rear window.
Matt, what's wrong with Labonte?
They believe it's something amiss with the carburetor or something internal inside the carburetor or the engine. Now, Justin says the car is just acting funny, period. That's why they finally decided to bring it to pit road and try to diagnose what is wrong with that 44.
Casey Kane, the leader. Clint Boyer, second. Jeff Green in the number 4 with his best qualifying effort of the year, running right where he started this race in 3rd. There's 4th. Side by side, Sauter finally has found his way underneath Paul Menard.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter in the 1 car, he had one of the better cars in practice earlier today, but up to that 4 car, Jeff Green, you talked about him, Mike. I think this is going to be a huge boost
for that race team. Not only just to qualify third, but stay here running up in the top 5, 20 laps into this race. This team missed the show at Phoenix and Talladega a couple of weeks ago.
Green's always been good here, you know. He's had a good run in the Cup car. I think he finished like 13th first time he came here in the Cup car. He's won here in the Busch car. What happened?
Excuse me, but Mark Martin almost turned Jimmy Johnson around in the backstretch. 9 of Martin had a run on the bottom, and he got to Johnson's quarter panel and got Jimmy a little sideways, and now Mark continues to hold the bottom to make the pass.
I think Jimmy moved up out of his way. He said, you want to go that bad, go ahead. Whoa, little contact there almost between the Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson.
See a little bit of damage on the right front fender of Mark Martin in 9 car. But yeah, his teammate Matt Kenseth in the 17 trying to take advantage of the 5 car, Jimmy Johnson being up on the high side.
How about Jimmy's car, Steve?
Well, Mike, he just told crew chief Jim Long that his car is free getting in and tight in the center. That's the condition of that number 5 car.
And the thing they're going to have to fix, they will have to fix that loose scooting in. You're entering this corner at a high speed, and you have to fix that first.
Yeah, the thing that happened to you when you're loose in, you use up too much brake. You've got to slow the car down, and you use a lot of brake, and that gets you in trouble.
24 complete this time by for Casey Kane. In an Evernham Dodge Charger, here's Matt.
He's pulled out to about a half a second lead. A nice little cushion over the 2-car Boyer. Now, he told his team on the last caution, this thing is way better than it was in practice. They keep stressing to Casey, though, be nice to your tires.
Speaking of tires, Greg Biffle spun in qualifying, flat spotted his, and used the first caution flag to come in and get new ones. He has now climbed to 31st.
And the biggest thing, he's in heavy traffic right now, and he's about 2/3 of a lap behind our leader, Casey Kane. But Casey Kane, our leader in the 79, is about to embark upon lap traffic.
Shane Meal working the inside of Kevin Harvick in the 21. This battle is for 15th place. Justin Labonte hood down, and he rejoins the race. 12, make that 17 laps down, but he's back out there. This battle for 26, just behind Tony Stewart. Tim Fedewa in the 12, getting passed by Denny Hamlin, and now David Stremme goes to work on the 12.
See Martin Truex Jr. in the 8 car. I think he's much quicker than these cars, but he's boxed in right now behind them.
Darrell, it's been a fun battle to watch. The 33 of Stewart, the 27 of David Green. They've been trading back and forth.
Yeah, it's just if you overdrive the corner at all, you slide up, you open the bottom, and then the guy behind you sticks a nose in there, and you've got to let him go. And it's kind of been back and forth, cat and mouse here.
27 laps complete, make that 28. Casey Kane has led them all at Richmond. Green flag, and we restart after the 6th caution flag of the night for Paul Wolf's spin. Jamie McMurray would have gotten the free pass, but sped down pit road, negating that. Menard up against Sadler. This is for the lead with Clint Boyer looking in.
Man, that 90 car, Larry, just went around on the outside and took the lead.
But I don't think I think it'll be short-lived, because Clint Boyer in that 2 car, he has about 50 lap fresher tires than Paul Menard in the 11 or Elliott Sadler in the 90 car. Clint Boyer pitted back on lap 80. Menard and Elliott Sadler were on pit road at lap 32.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time, Clint, and he's on it. We've seen that on 2 car run good here a lot, haven't we, through the years? Didn't matter who drove it.
We do know all of these guys at the front of the field right now, they will have to make one more pit stop. Boy, Stacy Compton in the 59 car, he could not get out of the way of these lead cars down in turn 3 and 4 that time.
Yeah, well, he's got a half a car racing against all these whole cars.
First time this season that Elliott Sadler has led. Here's Matt.
Back on lap 11, he told his team the car really feels nice getting into the corner, and then on exit of the corner, it does chatter a little bit in the center. But he did say this car feels probably the most comfortable I've ever had in a race car getting into the corners here at Richmond.
Well, I tell you one thing, and Jeremy will back me up, that's the best feeling you can have at this joint, is to be able to drive down in the corner and not have to turn to the right at all. Just keep cranking left. Right, Jeremy?
Oh, for sure, Darryl. That's something you need here at Richmond for sure, is be able to get in the corners, because if you can't get in the corners here, you're not going to run well.
Yeah, you almost feel like you're on dirt sometime here going down into turn 1, because the car just wants to get over in the right front and almost feel like it's going to spin out. When you can drive down in there, keep cranking left, ooh, that's fun.
Jimmy Johnson in the 5 car. He has his hands full with Johnny Sauter in the 1. This is a battle for 4. Looks like Jimmy Johnson, they still do not have that car right. He cannot turn the car to the bottom. Steve, I know they've made adjustments, but I don't think they're there yet.
Yeah, they pitted on lap 44, Larry Mack, and Jimmy is still saying that the car is tight. Again, they've only made 1 stop.
Tony Stewart on the march. He is up to 12th. He just passed Sterling Marlin and now goes to work on Casey Kane. Car in the wall back straight away. Shane Meal.
Yeah, he got up against the wall off turn 2. I think he got up a little high, gotten that loose stuff. Looks like he hit it pretty hard to me, but it hadn't slowed him down much.
Not much does.
Oh, here we go, one around here. Oh, he's going to save it.
He did.
Jerry Robertson in the 78 car. He's actually still on the lead lap, back in 26th position.
Boyer hunting the lead. These two have really distanced themselves from the field, and Sadler just waves them on by.
Yeah, he knew he was dog meat if he sat there and raced Clint Boyer in the 2.
Let's see what happened to Shane Meal here.
See, he just gets up out of the groove and gets that loose rubber on those hot tires, and you just have no control. He didn't really hit it all that hard, just kind of scraped it.
Just skimmed it a little bit.
You know, really, he did a nice job of getting the car back straight, minimizing that whatever impact there was there.
Oh, he didn't give up on one, I'll tell you that.
And he only gave up a few positions because he's fallen back into place behind Tony Stewart in the 33, back in the 12th position right now.
He's fun to watch. Tomorrow night, the Chevy American Revolution 400 is right here on FX. Tune in 7 p.m. Eastern Time live.
The final short track race of the first half. Nextel Cup racing in 2005.
And just like we've seen tonight, there is just so much. The cars are so equal right now, so much competition. They just can't help but run over each other. They run so close together.
Mark Martin. No matter where Mark Martin is, it's always about half a car length behind the action. Just lurking. He's a lurker at this stage of the race.
Yeah, he keeps watching way ahead. That's experience. He knows what to, got to keep your nose clean.
And I think he was watching behind, because Jeff Green in the 4 car, who's had a good car all night long, he caught Mark. Mark just moved over on the straightaway, let him go on. That way they lose the least amount of time.
There's plenty of time left to race and use up your stuff.
You got it.
Don't race people that can't beat you.
Green is still coming. He's underneath Johnny Sauter and opens the door for Mark. Nope. That door closes.
It's a nice recovery by Jeff Green in the 4 car. On his 1 pit stop that he made, they had a lug nut hung up and got way behind after that pit stop.
So we're just past halfway at Richmond International Raceway. Clint Boyer, one of 4 different leaders so far tonight. Welcome back to Richmond, where Clint Boyer appears clearly to be the car to beat, but the only car that seems to be gaining ground on him is Elliott Sadler, who's now moved into 2nd place. Carl Edwards is 3rd, Kyle Busch, Johnny Sauter up to 5th, David Stremme, Stanton Barrett, who stayed out on the last caution, in 7th, Casey Kane, J.J. Yaley, and Jeff Green. When Jimmy Spencer retires, we'll have to have a new Mr. Excitement. Look at this slide and save by who else? Shane Meal.
Look at all the dust and dirt and paint flying off the wall, and he just keeps on trucking.
But I definitely think he has damaged that car because he continues to go backwards. Now he's back in 23rd position, about 2/3 of a lap down to our leader, Clint Boyer, in the 2.
Now here's Johnny Sauter trying to make the pass on J.J. Yaley.
That's a hello, I'm here, and that's a little
caution
bumper.
I believe Paul Menard scraped the wall in turn 2 to bring out this caution. Not with the left side, as you see, but
that means he got help, and it might be someone. He might be looking for someone, and I think he is, and I think he found him.
I think it's the 20 car, Denny Hamlin.
Pretty hard hit
see
there.
That he was a very unhappy young man.
We're hearing that the black flag is out for the 11 car. And if you see there's a Denny Hamlin, the 20, he'll have to make a pit stop now because he has the left front tire rubbing.
All right, now this was under green.
Turn 1, and then just get hung together, really. Getting into the turn and can't get off each other. You see brake rotors glowing, and I'm sure Mr. Menard says that that wasn't very nice, Mr. Hamlin. They just got hung together. They went in a turn, they got loose, they got hung together, and got that loose stuff, and you go up the hill, and there's nothing you can do till you hit the wall. Paul wasn't happy, and he comes up here and tells Mr. Hamlin.
And those of you at home can finish the sentence. Paybacks are blank, but they do end with the black flag.
You don't have the last word.
That is a lot of damage to that 20 car. I think he will have to come to pit road and get those fenders off of the tires. Now, definitely, I don't think Clint Boyer in the 2 car wanted to see this caution because he had built quite the little bit of lead.
And one thing I noticed about the 90 car of Elliott Sadler, he seems to get better the longer we go. So I'm not so sure this helped his cause either.
73 laps to go. We're working the 8th caution flag of the night.
Seeing our leader, Clint Boyer, in the 2 car. He comes to pit road under this caution.
Along with the 5th place car of Kyle Busch and several others like David Stremme, the 6th place car, J.J. Yaley in 7th. Here's Dick.
Well, Clint Boyer looking for his first ever career victory in this series. Tonight, he has run better than he has run all year long. A bit of a surprise, but the crew has decided tires are important enough. They're going to fire 4 at Clint Boyer. He's going to have to pass a lot of cars to get back up to the lead that he just lost. Matt.
Same story for the 57 of Kyle Busch, trying to make it back-to-back spring wins here at Richmond. He is down and away. The car was tight in the center and loose off chassis, track bar, and air pressure adjustment for the 57. Meanwhile, the 11 of Paul Menard fixing the damage. You've got the old baseball bat out, trying to fix the wheel rubs on the 11.
Well, it won't just be the damage, Matt, because to finish the sentence, paybacks are 2 laps in the penalty box. That's where Mr. Menard will sit as things continue without him. We'll be right back.
I tell you, there's a number of guys up there that just amaze me. Greg Biffle being one of them. He's had his hands full of that car all night long. There he sits in 5th place. Right behind him is Mark Martin, and right behind him is Matt Kinson.
Yes, sir.
And those guys have just quietly been sitting back there watching all this unfold, and now it's time to go racing.
Pretty impressed with that 4th place car. Jeff Green in that 4 car. He's moved back up to the 4th place. He had a great qualifying run, got back in the pack after a lugged up problem, and now he's back up there in the top 5.
There's the 79 of Kane right behind Tony Stewart's 33. And now alongside Stewart's 33. And now moved up into 8th place.
Yeah, I think Casey Kane's one of those kind of guys. They got to kind of get strung out a little bit. He's not real keen on getting up in the middle of all those cars where they're bouncing off each other.
Paul Wolf comes to pit road, actually behind the wall, as we picked up some audio from Tony's team.
But I think I can hang with these guys. I think the longer we go here, the better it's going to make us. Just keep your fingers crossed. There ain't no guarantees of it yet, but I mean, I'm pretty hopeful here that I think we're going to be. I mean, we're probably aren't going to win the race here, but we got a shot to get to the top 5.
Stewart is 9th right now.
And just remember, Tony's not running all the races, but this race team, they're running all the races, chasing that owner's championship. And I want to go back to Clint Boyer in the 2 car. He just lost a position to Shane Mill in the 32 car. He's back to 14th position. And Darrell, I hate to second guess that call of coming to pit road, but I think with too few laps to go, I said it a while ago, it was their race to lose. I think that trip down pit road may have done that.
Yeah, I don't know about that call. I think you know, every week we see people make calls in the pits, and we always question them, or, you know, some of them we do anyway, and I definitely question that one.
Well, as you say that, Larry, though, he repassed Shane Meal. So now, if they're single file, if they stay green for a long time, might have a shot to get back up there.
Well, we just watched Casey Kane in the 79 car go by Matt Kenseth. Seen a place we've not seen a lot of passes. He did it on the outside going into turn 1. He moves now up to the 7th position.
Yeah, he's got a really good car, Larry. I think all he's been doing is watching these guys bang on each other. Once they get single file, I think he can go up through there and pick a few of them off. How far he can go, I'm not sure.
Right now, Casey Kane in the 79 car in the 7th position. He's about 3 1/4 seconds behind our leader, Johnny Sauter. But when I look at our scoring monitor, the top 7 cars are all running the same speed right now.
.44 laps to go. Johnny Sauter trying to bring the 1 to victory lane, ahead of Elliott Sadler by half a second. We've just restarted with 30 laps to go. Johnny Sauter was the leader at the moment of caution. NASCAR goes to the last of the timing loops across the track that is passed by the cars when the caution came out. And at that time, Sauter was the leader.
Yeah, I just think it's a matter of time till the 90 gets around him anyways. Elliott's just a little bit better right now. Takes him a couple, 3 laps to get going, but once he does, I think he's on his way.
And I think what's going on, Johnny Sauter in the 1, he beats Elliott Sadler down into the corner, but right here, boom, Elliott Sadler in the 90 beats him off the corner.
But we do know now that Johnny's had a little wake-up call from Elliott there as they come down the front straightaway, so if he's got anything, he'd best be using it.
Greg Biffle has come to 3rd. Clint Boyer has climbed to 9th in the number 2.
Well, he's got some tough rows to hold. Look up ahead of him up there. Kenseth, Martin, what a crowd he's got to get around just to get headed toward the front.
And a couple of lapped cars that restarted up near the front as well.
Well, he got a shot off turn 2, though, Larry. Look at that. He almost made it 3 wide down into turn 3.
But he's boxed in behind Matt Kenseth in the 17. Mark Martin in the 9. Kenseth gets sideways. Clint Boyer in the 2 will take advantage of that.
That was a real blessing for Boyer. One less car. He had to really work hard to get around.
He's up to 8th, but he has just 26 laps to go.
But I'm going to tell you, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack right now, especially that last lap, our pole sitter, Casey Kane in the 79 car, back in 6th position. He's going to be the real tough guy that Clint Boyer will have to get around.
Darrell, looks like it's going to take a while for Elliott Sadler's car to come in for him to mount a charge for the lead.
It's been taking him 10, 12, 15 laps, and then he reels the 1 car back in real slowly.
So about 5 laps to go, and he ought to be right on top of him.
He'll be slide by slide.
Now Greg Biffle at 4th place behind Carl Edwards. After a rocky start to the night, Biffle's evening has come up really well.
I'll tell you another car, though, that is reeling in those 2 leaders slowly but surely. Our points leader, Greg Biffle's teammate Nextel Cup, Carl Edwards in the 60 car. He's been lurking back there behind Johnny Sauter and Elliott Sadler.
One thing we know about Carl, he'll hang her out here at the end. If he's got anything, he's going to be using it right away.
5th place, that's Jeff Green in the 4.
79's a little quicker. Casey is. Can't get that opening he needs to get under him.
I think what Casey Kane in the 79 needs is to get a couple more positions, and he needs 1 more caution to get caught up.
Eye of the storm, last lap. Shane Meal got into the back of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson's going to give him a little racing room here on the inside.
That's smart.
This is a battle for 20th position right now as we have 21 laps to go.
Meanwhile, Clint Boyer has passed Matt Kenseth. And he's in 8th place.
A little over 4 seconds behind our leader right now.
Now with 21 laps to go, that's a long way to go. How about Stanton Barrett? What a great night he's had. He's been on the lead lap all night. He's run up in the top 5. And he and Tim Sauter battling for 20 seconds. Still lead lap cars. In the wall, turn 2, Menard. And around goes Jimmy Johnson. Caution.
We're wrecked here. Not believe this. I cannot believe that 18 car racing me like this.
That may be the caution, though, that Casey Kane in the 79 car was looking for, as well as Clint Boyer in the 2. Get caught back up again.
5 looks like he has very little damage. Some, but not much. Mostly on the left side here. I guess he slapped the fence with the left side of the car.
And who was Jimmy talking about? The 18.
Finish.
The 18, J.J.
I'm on pit road.
All right, Paul Menard was also up and into the wall. He's on pit road as well. And something wrong with the right front on Menard's car. A few flames coming out there. Well, let's have a look. 12th caution of the night.
Good pass so far, but then just not a. Jimmy had a whale of a run going down into turn 1. Yaley was up off the bottom ever so slightly, but just not enough room for everybody to get through there. It looks like Jimmy just cut down a little too much to me. I mean, it looked like he thought he had the 18 cleared after making that pass on the other 2 cars. He just didn't. He didn't have him cleared.
Definitely does not look like the 18 car moves up at all.
Well, now the 18 got loose.
Got loose a little bit. He did go up the racetrack just a little.
What happened was he got loose, and when he caught it, it shot into the 5.
Yep.
And I'm only guessing that the problem on the right front may have caused Menard to lock the brake up, trying to avoid that accident and put his car up and into the wall, because it just shot straight up to the wall behind the multi-car pileup.
He's been driving that car awfully hard. He may have just burnt the brakes completely off of it.
Looks like they're pushing it to the house. Dick?
Well, Clint Boyer, who has led so many laps tonight and who was looking for his first ever win in this series, just got on the radio and said that the front end is chattering. Right now he is running in 8th spot and the laps are winding down. Just 27 to go. Steve?
Dick, the leader, Johnny Sauter, saying, I'm giving it all I got, and Mark Reno reminding him, don't overdrive the corners. And he's also telling him that Elliott Sadler is looking for different lines on the higher side. So again, just reminding Johnny, don't overdrive the car, be smooth.
I think that's good advice, because what we see with the 1 car is he really gains a lot of ground on Elliott getting in the corner, which means he's driving in really hard. Elliott seems to pull back up on him as they exit the corner. I believe if Johnny would slow down, he would go a little faster.
But these short runs are playing to his strength.
Oh, I agree with that, because it just doesn't seem like the 90 car has enough to get up and go for 5 or 10 laps.
Remember 2001 when Jimmy Spencer won both Busch races of the season here in the number 1, and Johnny Sauter won here in the 2 in September of 03.
And you know, Mark Reno, who is right now acting crew chief for this 1 car, he's normally on top of the building spotting. But remember, Johnny Sauter's crew chief, Joe Shear Jr., is on that 4-race suspension after the carburetor infraction in Texas. That's the reason Mark Reno's on the box calling this race.
Well, having Mark Reno as your crew chief, backup crew chief,
not a bad
thing.
Not bad. Mark, a lot of experience.
Smart guy. First time I ever met him, he was working with Joe Ruttman. He and Joe were big buddies.
Again, Paul Menard would have been eligible for the free pass, but he was in the wall and now is in the garage. And because of the penalty earlier, he wasn't going to get it anyway. We'll be right back. We're about to go green. With 13 laps to go, Johnny Sauter.
Whoa, man, he got a great jump. And here comes the 60 car. This isn't playing into Elliott Sadler's hands, I can tell you that.
J.J. Yaley spins around off the front bumper of Shane Meal.
No caution, though. We stay green. In Elliott Sadler in the 90 car, he was able to maintain second position to Carl Edwards in the 60. Meanwhile, Johnny Sauter in the 1 is driving away with 12 laps to go.
I think that's hurt Meal's car. There is smoke from the left front.
Yeah, he's got a little sheet metal damage there, I think. I think the 18 just failed to go. I don't think we can lay the total blame on that 32 on that one.
Okay.
We'll give him a benefit of the doubt.
Here's the battle for 5th position. Casey Kane in the 79, our pole sitter. He knows the laps are winding down. Battling Jeff Green in the 4. That is the battle for 5th position.
And they're right about Elliott Sadler as these two race side by side. It looks like Casey's going to make the pass, which is good news for Casey. Bad news for these cats in front of him because Casey's car is fast. But I was going to tell you, Elliott Sadler is definitely moving around on the racetrack. He's now trying to run a little higher line. I think what he's done, a car that's usually pretty good on a long run is hard on the right front tire because it'll be a little snug. I think he's moved it up the hill a little bit, trying to take advantage of that push.
Do you remember Sadler saying in one of our shows earlier today on Speed Channel he'd rather win here than anywhere?
Well, he's getting ready to put the big britches on that one car.
This is his home racetrack. That one car, though, he's been bottoming out all night long. Ever since lap 1, Elliott Sadler in 90 got a good run off turn 2 that time.
I think the one is just driving in a corner so hard, and he's hard on the brakes. He's got the whole thing just squished down against the racetrack. But that outside line could pay off for Elliott if he'll give it to him.
8 laps to go, and Elliott does the crossover move. He's going for the bottom.
That's dangerous.
Did they touch?
They did get together. Yes, they did. And meanwhile, Carl Edwards in the 60 car, he moves up there.
Edwards, the point leader, moves to 2nd.
And I'm not so sure he doesn't have a little something for the 90 car Elliott Sadler. Carl is pretty tenacious at the end of these races, just like we saw at Atlanta.
Sadler's crew.
Here comes Carl. I'm
6.5 laps to go. I believe Carl Edwards in the 60 just a little better off the corner, especially off turn 4. 6 to go.
Looks like right here he jumps back in the throttle and he really closes as they exit the turn. He's got to remember something, same kind of power in both cars.
Tomorrow night, the same, only more. 400 laps under the lights at Richmond here on FX for the Nextel Cup cars. Last Busch Series win for Elliott Sadler, October 1998 at Rockingham. It's a long way. Long time to wait. And it'll be 4 laps to go when they come around.
Now Casey Kane, the 79 car, he just went by Greg Biffle in the 66. That was the 4th position. I just think the laps are going to run out, though. 4 to go this time.
Edwards gets closer every lap.
Yeah, it seems like now that running just a little high doesn't hurt a thing. That's how Elliott was able to get the momentum.
Turn 2. Up and in a wall, Stremme with Kyle Busch. Caution.
But remember, there's still 3.5 laps to go. We will get one attempt at ending this race on the green.
And I believe that's bad news for the 90 car. He's not good on restart. He's not good for a couple of laps. I think Carl's got a chance here.
Okay, it's Friday the 13th. This is the 13th yellow flag of the night. And we have 3 laps to go. We're only going to have one winner. That's a 13th.
These two cars racing off into turn 1. And again, you see the guy on the outside almost like he chops down.
But it also looked like that 57 car, like we've seen a lot, got loose getting in the corner.
Got a little twitchy getting in. When you go on the outside of somebody like it, you can suck the back of that car on the inside around. He corrects and shoots into you.
Here's Matt on the leader.
Moments ago, Elliott Sadler told his team, I think I have a flat tire, to tell you the truth. Trying to hold on for his first win here at his home track. The concern, though, now, possibly flat tire.
Boy, I tell you what, it's that left front looks mighty soft, but I don't think that's the problem. It may be a right side tire, because this is where they made a little contact pretty hard right there, and if he's got a problem, it's going to be on the right front. And I just don't see it, Larry.
I've been looking at the left sides, and you know, they run the left side so low anyhow, it's just hard to tell.
I tell you what, when you're about to win a race, you think everything's wrong. You think you got flat tires, the motor's missing, the shifter's broken. How many more laps are there to go?
You know how long he's had to think about this win in this series? 6.5 years. Now, he's not running this series full time for 6.5 years. He's made occasional appearances in the Busch Series since moving up to Nextel Cup, but to try to win at your home racetrack and try to win for your Cup car owner, A lot riding right there.
You know, Darrell, just looking at the left side tires the last time, looked like maybe the left front was a little lower than the left rear. Again, they run the pressure so low anyhow, it's just hard to say. You can see where all the letters are rubbed off the tire.
Yeah, you know what, Larry? You're right. That left front's going down. Look at it. That belly is getting bigger and bigger on the bottom of it there. But he can't pit.
Well, if you go back to the old days of this racetrack when Sonny Hutchins and Ray Hendrick and all those guys ran modifieds, they just carried the left front. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, well, these cars don't do that anymore. I mean, they got that left front sucked down. That's probably the most vital part of the car these days, but he's definitely going to have a problem. He's definitely got a left front tire going down.
But just remember, this group, they're not big picture racing. They don't run all the races. They're here to win. And you know what? We get a restart on a green-white checkered. We get another quick caution. He stays out front. He wins the race.
We're going to get one to go this time, so the die is cast. Let's see if we can compare the left front on Sadler's car to the left front on the 60.
Yeah, his is flat, too. And they all look flat. I don't know.
Doesn't look much different, does it?
Not a whole lot of difference. Like I say, they only run 15-pound of air in that tire, and it builds up probably on a long run to 20, so it doesn't have a lot of air in it.
So here's what will happen. They'll wave the green flag and try to get this field around to the white and then the checker. But whatever happens after the green waves, that will be the race.
Yeah,
it will be a down finger restart, single file restart, no lap traffic to deal with.
And if Elliott does have a flat tire, what he's got to hope for if something happens back in the field and the caution comes down again, boy, he jumped him, I tell you that.
Elliott Sadler in the 90 car, he gets a good restart here. 2 to go. Johnny Sauter in the 1, though. He'd like to get back up there and take second from Carl Edwards.
I don't think I don't know if Carl can get on the outside down here. Maybe. No, he's going to try to root up under him. He's going to try to root up under him. I don't know if he can do that or not.
White flag. He has one more chance. He pulls to the inside. I think he'll take the position going out in turn 1.
I think they'll wreck.
Sadler tries to pinch him. Sauter having trouble holding off the 4th place car.
He gets him sideways.
I think they might wreck. But they saved it.
Here comes Sauter and Kane. It's going to be 4 cars under a blanket. And the winner, Carl Edwards.
Awesome.
What a save coming off turn 2, though, by Elliott Sadler in that 90 car.
He won the race.
Carl Edwards becomes the 8th different winner in the last 9 races. Ties Mark Martin and Martin Truex for most wins this season with 2. He also won at Atlanta.
Well, we
First start at Richmond, checkered flag.
We have seen some exciting finishes here at this joint, I'm telling you right now.
I think Brad Parrott, the crew chief, maybe I'll leave the stunts to his driver, Carl Edwards.
Yeah, I think he just broke his leg.
Nice cartwheel, Brad.
But talk about stunts. Our driver has parked at the start-finish line.
Over near the grass. I think that's smart.
Safe landing that way.
That's right.
After all, he does have to race again tomorrow night. All right, so we've got a cartwheeling crew chief, and now we've got Carl Edwards. Second time this year a winner. 10.0. He's fucking.
That would look good there. These fans love it.
That's a 10. I tell you what, I didn't think they'd make that last lap. When they got side by side, I thought it was going to be ugly. But you can see Carl is down in there. They come off of the corner over there. Make a little contact. Elliott, I really think Carl saved him. I think Elliott really just almost stepped out on his own trying to get the throttle down, and Carl was there to straighten him back out. See if we can. Well, I think it shot the 90 up there. Nah, he got some contact.
That's about as close as you can get sideways and not wreck.
Larry, this right here is ugly. There's something bad wrong with that.
I'll give that a 10. Yeah. A negative 10.
Yeah, there's something bad wrong with that. Now here's what's good. Look at that.
Perfect land.
Gymnastics, they would say he stuck the landing.
He stuck the fender, the right front fender up in the left rear of that 90 car. I know that.
But Darrell, as we said earlier in the night, as you said, that's what you have to do to get by here.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's basically the classic Richmond setup and pass.
And there's the post-race discussion between the first and second place finishers. Only one of whom is happy about it. Carl Edwards led one lap, the money lap. And we'll talk to him after this.
Carl Edwards out of the race car. And he gets a shower of Busch beer. Hey, Carl, we've got a lot to talk about. You stuck the landing, but then you had a wild last lap battle with Elliott Sadler. Then we saw you talking to Elliott. Tell us about all of it in no particular order.
Well, I think Elliott, first of all, he's an awesome racer. I was really happy to see him up there running that well. On that restart, I don't know what happened, but he washed up in the middle of the corner. I got underneath him, and in my eyes, he crowded me real hard. We bumped, and the bumping continued off the corner. So he says he wouldn't race me like that, and I'm sure he didn't mean to bump me. I sure was not trying to wreck him to win. I thought I could pass him without touching him. But so proud of our charter team. This is awesome. And I don't know, I think Elliott plans on a little retaliation later on. So hopefully he gets over that and watches his tape.
And then you had Brad Parrott, your crew chief, doing cartwheels on pit road.
Brad's the man. He made the call.
Brad, tell us about that cartwheel.
Oh, that was Carl Edwards learned cartwheel. I'll do better next time, and there's going to be plenty more of those. How about that driver? Unbelievable, boy. You're awesome.
That's
okay?
fun.
You're awesome.
Hey, he made a great call on tires, and I'm just really thankful for Jack Roush giving me the opportunity to run this car. And once again, I hope Elliott's not upset, but I mean, I'm just here to win races, and that's what we're trying real hard to do.
Congratulations, Carl.
Elliott Sadler's had a chance to see the replay. You've had a long conversation with Carl Edwards. What's your take after seeing the replay?
I just told him I would not race him like that. You know, I try to be a smooth driver and try to race hard. I mean, anybody can go up and just kind of ride them from the middle lane out. It's kind of what I felt, kind of just somebody in my left rear. And, you know, I don't think he knew. I think he knew he was not as good as us. I guess that was his only chance, was just kind of knock us up out of the way. But it's a shame. I really wanted to win here in Virginia in front of these Virginia fans, and my City Financial foil was very, very good. One of the best cars I had in Richmond. I had a lot of fun tonight, just in finish it up like I wanted to. But, hey, that's racing. I got a good car for tomorrow night. We'll try to get it tomorrow night.
Concern late in the going, a possible tire going down. Was it going down?
Yeah, my left front was flat when we came in. I knew I could feel something going down. I must have run over something on one of those cautions, and it's a shame, because if I hadn't had that, it wouldn't even been a contest anyway. But I'm so proud of my guys. We came up here and tested. I've never run good here at Richmond before. To come back and lead some laps and finish second says a lot for our program. We're trying to get better, and I think I got a good cup car for tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens. I'm just so excited right now. We had a good race tonight. We learned a lot, and we'll try to get them tomorrow night.